Hi everyone, new day, new stream. I just got back from Bergen, the greatest city of them all, and I'm going away this Wednesday for a tournament in Kragere. So I need to do them tactics. Gotta make sure that my head is sharp and that I'm ready for tournament. So today I'm gonna be doing a lot of tactics. And I'm hoping to make over 3,100 once again. So let's just start. Starting out with a study. Those are my favorites. 2 passed pawns. Finding a rook, finding a passed black A pawn as well. This is probably not going to be very easy. I would think I'm looking for a win. King d6 is actually interesting. King d6, a3, e7, forces rook g8. Knight e6, threatens knight f8. And then maybe stop it by going rook e8, and then knight c5, king b8. A7 is a very forcing move. A7, he can only go king b7. A7, king b7, e7, rook g8, knight e6, rook e8. I have a3. A8. I have a8 at some point. So a7, king b7, e7. Then rook g8, knight e6. And threatening knight f8. And if he goes rook e8, I can queen. And if he, I don't know, takes, I can go knight f8, check, check up, no more checks, pawn queens. Yeah, I don't know, it looks good to me, but last time I was doing tactics, I was rushing things. I was making up my mind too quickly without really double checking everything. So a7, king b7 is only move. e7, if he gives any checks, surely I'm able to put the knight in between. This is actually interesting. a7, king b7, e7, rook d1 check. I probably have to go knight d3. Takes king e4, rook back, and then a8. But I think that should work. So that one is okay. a7, king b7, e7, rook back, knight e6. a3. at f8, and then a8. No, I think it's good. I'm gonna go for it. My bad. I don't know what happened there. My line was pretty good. The only thing I can think of is that maybe it's important to queen first, but I don't think that's too important. I'm gonna check the solution. But why was it important to queen first? I mean, after this rook d1 move, then I could have queened. Oh man. Yeah, no, this I gotta check. How is... Ooh, yeah, that's hurting everything. That's hurting everything. Ah, actually it worked. A bit of a blank screen for a while, but it worked. Okay. A7. Show me. Why not E7? Okay. What's going on? I'm still... Oh no! Man. Yeah, there's a check. I saw that he could win the knight, but I thought then there's the queen against rook, so I win. But it's check. It's check. Okay, that hurts. That hurts. How do I now go back? If I do this, maybe I'll just go back. Okay, that's interesting information for future reference. Okay, so there was a very, very, very interesting point I missed. So we start out with a mistake. It's never a good start. But surely this is gonna turn it around, because there's a checkmating patterns going on. I want to keep this pawn here. I want to checkmate the king on h4. And yeah, how to do it. Give a check, give a check, give a check. So lots of possible checks. Maybe rook e to g2, king f3, then rook g1. Looks pretty good. Rook g to e2, king f3, rook takes g5. Also looks pretty good. Take back, then you take on h3, and the rook is hanging on c3. If he goes to h4, then rook g4 is checkmate. I mean, 2 pawns up. I'm able to win with 2 pawns up. I'm just gonna go for it. 2 pawns up. But I'm 2 pawns up. How can it be a mistake when I'm 2 pawns? Yeah, I'm gonna do the blank screen on this one as well. Because now I'm getting pretty angry. Now I'm getting pretty angry. Okay, so h4 is made in 3. I suppose I really should have played h4. That's so poor. But this is winning as well. This is winning as well. Okay, report. Yeah, no, that I am reporting this for being an inaccurate puzzle. How do I do that? I'm winning 2 pawns. Even the computer says I'm winning. I may not have checkmated him, but I'm winning 2 pawns. Report, comments, tags, report puzzle. I cannot find it. I cannot find it. Okay. So you survived this one as well. Okay, a bad start so far. Not only missing the puzzles, but also being very close and then kind of just not getting those tactics approved in the end. New try. Not a pawn down, but there's a pretty intense attack going on for black over here. So I should probably attack the king really quickly. Am I trying to make a draw? Possibly, actually. But I'm guessing I'm supposed to win. So check, king f6. If I give a check here, then queen f4. Even, no, queen f4. Probably not going to take me anywhere. So check, king f6, maybe rook d7, threatens queen h8 mate. And then he has a check with a knight. But I escaped to a3. So that might not be a big problem. How about rook h3, blocking the queen and also opening the diagonal against the d2 knight. That could be pretty good. That could be pretty good. Maybe just rook h8 to start with. Don't give a check. The king wants to escape anyhow. So rook h8 is threatening queen h7. And that might be a much more efficient attack. That looks really good actually. Rook h8. Rook h8. Move the queen maybe? Move the queen, but then queen h6. Move the queen, but then you get... You know what? I really like this. I cannot see anything wrong with this. No, it looks fine. Okay, so the king goes there, and now I thought maybe this move. And after queen f4, I get rook f8. There was a fork here actually. There's a fork with knight to d3. But luckily the rook is guarding the queen. And I managed a puzzle. At this point, even that's a success. Okay, one more. Let's get on a roll. And this time my king is in severe trouble. This king is not doing good. But on the other hand, is he really threatening anything? Yeah, maybe he's threatening rook takes g4. So my first idea was queen c2, but then rook takes g4 is good. So instead, I'm gonna go queen a2. And he has to give up his rook for the knight, and I win. Easy peasy. And now a rook endgame to defend should be possible. Should be very possible. Maybe give it check. So I think the question here is whether I should give a check or whether I should go rook a8. But rook a8 maybe allows rook to h4, and then he gets this rook blocking stuff on the 4th rank. In a game I would play a check without thinking, probably. But this is not a game, this is a puzzle, so you should do some thinking. Oh man, I didn't calculate a single variation before doing that. I really should have calculated something, because now I just look like an idiot. And I can't really have some kind of elaborate scheme justifying what I did. Okay, but then he plays rook h4, no? But look, I understand that this is a good idea when he goes king here, but how about rook? Rook and then blocking. Blocking, you can just exchange the rook. Okay. Yeah. Next one. I sacrificed a piece on h3, and knight to f4 is so tempting. So tempting. And it even wins a piece here. Am I gonna think about it, having learned from my mistakes in the previous puzzles? No. Now I'm in it to win it. At this point, I'm just tilting. This threatens mate here and mate other places. Looks good. Checkmate. Okay, that was an easy one. Okay. This king possibly getting checkmated if I can just move the rook. That's my first idea. My second idea, maybe go rook f1, threatening the queen. My third idea is to maybe be concerned about rook takes f7. My fourth idea is that rook f1 is just winning, because the queen has no good squares. But then I discovered queen b3, protecting g3 and still attacking something here. The queen is so nicely placed, covering the h4 square. But if I do anything to kind of disrupt this rook, then probably my queen will have to move and I lose control over h4. And now maybe, no. Queen f6 is also checkmate. Queen f6 would be checkmate. So maybe I should go queen a1. Queen d2 is quite good, because then I threaten a queen d8 checkmate, as well as threatening rook takes g2. That's still looking pretty good. Queen d2. And then I also prevent f5, giving the king more escape routes. Queen d2, king h4, rook takes g2, threatening mate both on e1 and d8. I don't know, it looks pretty good to me. I said that earlier today as well. I'm gonna go for it. No more calculating. You gotta trust your instincts. That's the fourth time today I've been pretty sure I got it. Queen e6. Okay. I was nowhere close. Nowhere close. I'm gonna do the analysis board here as well. Because it's frustrating seeing these very good options and then kind of never really thinking. So I really needed to be careful about that perpetual, huh? I thought I probably would get out of it somehow. Queen d2 takes back. Check. And now queen e4 is the only saving move. I'm starting to think that these puzzles are too complicated for me. Either that or I'm just spending my time just before my next tournament really ruining my own confidence. That cannot be good. Okay, so queen h5 looks like a very good move. Queen h5 threatens checkmate in 2 moves. And if knight f6, I can go queen g6, followed by queen takes f6. But then maybe he has bishop takes d4. I can also, after queen h5, knight f6, I can go bishop takes f7. That looks pretty good. Okay, that move I had not seen, which is kind of embarrassing. This move looks good, reinforcing some attacking stuff. Check. Doesn't seem to lead anywhere. If I take and he goes bishop g7, I can take. That looks good. Rook e3, is that a possibility? Rook e3 is a bit crazy. I'll just take this one. I thought I was going to try to reach 3,100 here. But at this speed, I mean, I would be lucky just to stay above 3,000. E5! Wow! That's a very cool move. That's a very cool move. And I should have seen it. That actually was. I should have seen that. Okay, queen takes h6. Too much. Rook h8. Takes queen back. Yeah, maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it's just a trick puzzle. Maybe I should just take on f7. Take on d5. I'm starting to think I'm supposed to allow rook b1, but it looks very dangerous. Very dangerous. Check, takes, check. Back. If I give up my rook, I kind of run out of attacking pieces pretty soon. So I should probably find something better. Probably find something better. So I guess what I'm scared about is bishop takes g3. So if I'm gonna be very, very cool, I go queen takes f7, and then rook b1, king h8, bishop takes g3, and there is an option of going king g2 there. King g2, queen f1, king takes g3, and then if you check on g1, maybe I can run with the king. King f4. Looks pretty good to me. And now you give me the one move. I mean, what? That was the most complicated puzzle of every single one. And now I just get the one move. Am I gonna open the analysis board again? I am. It doesn't look good for a couple of seconds, but I am. Because I gotta show people that I got that one right. I haven't gotten a lot right so far, but this one I got. Takes, check. Oh, apparently king g2 is also winning, which is why they had to end the puzzle after one move. But you didn't get, I mean, you had a puzzle in which I won 2 pawns and still got it wrong. But this is the variation I was looking at. And it is the best way of playing. Hopefully. Now king f4. And the king escapes. That's very, very nice. Very nice. Okay. But only 1 point for that one. Because I spent 2 minutes on it. And apparently the average solving is 12 seconds. Wow. I can take this bishop. To me, that really looks like a free bishop. I like some free bishops. I can take it, take back, then maybe bishop d7 check. No, that's too cool. Take back. Am I a piece up? I'm a pawn up. So I think moving my king here, not gonna happen. Moving my king here, it's risky. Risky. It's definitely not winning. It might be best, but it's not winning. So logic dictates I should take this bishop. But then I should have a follow-up. Take back, threatens the rook, threatens the queen. I mean, this knight might even just get trapped. Something like queen g4 takes the rook, queen takes g7. Looks very, very strong. Very, very strong. So many other moves though. So many other moves. But this one is just so tempting. I don't think I can talk myself out of this move. They want more moves? I mean, I can take the bishop, the knight is trapped, and I can also go bishop h6. You want more moves. Bishop h6 is very tempting, because everything is still hanging. Taking the bishop is just winning easily. Oh, I hate this. When they have an obviously winning position and they still want you to make moves. That's not good puzzle making. Am I a piece down or something? No. I have an exchange and a pawn. And this knight is almost trapped. This bishop can just be taken. And I can go bishop h6, which is also very strong. I'm gonna take the bishop. Okay. I think there were several winning moves at the end there. I seriously disagree with the decision to keep the puzzle running. Okay, this is interesting. A study. I have a knight and a rook against two bishops. And normally you would think that the bishops has no problem making a draw. But because of the position of the king on the same file as the bishop, and also the bishops being on the same rank as each other, there might be hopes of winning this game. But how? I have no idea. Okay, rook d1. And this bishop actually doesn't have a lot of moves. Wherever the bishop goes, I get a discovered check, which is good. So after rook d1, he has to play bishop d5. But what then? King h7 is illogical to take away the h6 square for the bishop, but then bishop e4 check. And if I have to go into this diagonal, then bishop c3 pins the knight, and I have no discovered check. But on the other hand, when the bishop is on e4, then actually there's a lot of pieces hanging, because when I then move my king, then he cannot take on d4 without losing the bishop. He cannot move the king to the c file without losing the bishop to rook c1 and not to rook e1. So after check, king h7, bishop e4 check. Then king g7, bishop c3, king h6. That's very, very nice. No, not king h6. I need to go king f7. Yeah, king f7. And then I win. Because now I have this check. And I win the bishop. Ooh, good solve. Good solve. 5 points. 5 points for Gryffindor. Another checkmate-ish puzzle. I've been struggling with those today. How to get the queen onto this diagonal is the big question. And what options do I have? Queen h5 is tempting. Queen d5 is tempting, but quite obvious. Even though just because it's obvious doesn't mean it's wrong. Queen d5, f3 takes, queen b3. Then I can just take and go knight d2. But then rook d1. Then rook d1. Maybe I can go rook d1 at some point. Because if rook takes, then checkmate somehow. Queen takes. Yeah, queen takes. So what's going on? What's going on? Get into the diagonal. Queen d5, pawn, takes, queen b3, I don't see it. I don't see it. I guess queen g4 is an option, but any of these moves he can go queen b3, and it's really annoying because he protects f3 while also attacking f7. And countering that is tricky to say the least. So, I mean, if his queen was not on the first rank, then queen d5, f3, queen takes f3 would work. But his queen is on the first rank. and I don't see it moving anytime soon. And even if it were to move to like b3, he's still protecting the back rank mate. So I needed to move off somewhere it protects d1. And in the meantime, my knight is under attack. I could go knight f3, queen b3, queen f5. But it's a bit slow, because even at that point, I'm not really threatening anything. I might be threatening knight d2, but it doesn't feel like it's concrete enough to do something immediately. I don't know. I don't see it. Queen d5, f3 takes, queen b3. I don't see it. At least the other puzzles, I had some kind of idea what was the right solution, and in some points I miscalculated. But here I can't even see. I can't even see the idea. I cannot find anything that comes close to winning. Maybe rook d2. Maybe I should just keep attacking, sending pieces into the attack. But I don't really believe in it. Rook d1, queen takes d1. There's no discovered attacks. There's no Okay, how about this? Queen d5, f3, queen d2. Yeah, because I'm protecting against rook b2. So then he has to take my knight. After which I can go bishop e3. Bishop e3, and then he needs to go f4, after which I have queen d5. Okay, got there in the end. Tough puzzle, but I got there in the end. Okay, new attacking chances. Check. Very tempting. Check. Reasonably tempting. And that's kind of the two candidates. So check with the rook or check with the bishop. And at the moment the bishop is leading, because check with the bishop, king back, queen f2 threatens both bishop g2 and queen g2, whereas if I do with the rook I only threaten queen. So he needs to go rook g1, and then I go rook g8. Takes, and there's no way of stopping bishop g2 mate. None that I can see. Okay, was not anticipating that, but I think I can just take it. Then back to the main line. And we get a free queen. Wow, +7. That's a good score. And there's a puzzle. And this really looks like one of the Kubel puzzles we used to do at the athletes, the chess school. And we became pretty much experts at those. But it's tricky. Normally we're supposed to dominate the queen. And then we have to use our creativity to do so. I'm guessing the first move is c6. c6 takes. And then I block the king from ever getting to that square. c6 takes. But he can always go king f4 and try to escape to these light squares over here. So maybe c6 takes and then f3. No, because then the king f4 and takes on f3. So f4 is a problem. And he's also threatening king d4 takes c4, which also is a plan of getting into the light squares with the king. So if black is able to get his king on a light square, then probably he's going to be fine. Because then my bishop checks are much less efficient. And also what his queen is on a black square, while his king, if it were to get on a white square, a knight would not be able to attack a light square and a black square, dark square, at the same time. So I need to make sure that this king stays on dark squares. But that's a tricky thing to manage. Pretty tricky. I feel like there's something obvious I'm missing. Because right now I cannot see how to prevent the king from running in either direction. So I can go bishop f6 and stop it from going to the king's side, to the queen side, but then he goes to the king side. So bishop c7 feels like a more important first move. Because then at least I force him toward where some more of my pieces, the king and pawn, are located. Okay, so I'm gonna say c6 takes, bishop c7 check, king d4. That's gonna be the starting position I'm thinking about. But I cannot see how to continue from there, because I'm having big trouble defending the pawn on c4. Maybe king d3 at some... No! I was right clicking. I thought I was making an arrow. Man, I thought I was making an arrow. Okay. Note to self. Right clicks are very much being accepted. But I wasn't really close. I think c6 is the right move and then bishop c7. But I couldn't find the follow-up. c6 takes, bishop c7, bishop a5. Bishop a5 I would have found. I would have found that move. But I ruined it for myself. Okay, so black is promoting. I'm gonna make a wild assumption and say that I'm gonna try to stop it. And making a draw is reasonably easy here. So I'm gonna need to stop it for the win. And that's tricky. It's gonna be very tricky. I can start with a check. I can start with this check. Checks doesn't really seem to be giving me much in this position. Maybe I should go king c3, but then you get a new queen. King c3, new queen. King b4. No, that's too much. Too much. Rook h3. Rook h3. But then you get a new queen. And if I take on b3 with check, you just move the queen in between. So how can I stop you from... I mean, rook h1, rook a1 was the first thing that came to my mind, but you just take that rook. And I cannot checkmate you with just a bishop. Probably I could, but not in that corner, at the very least. King e3? Then I'm getting desperate. King e3, new queen, bishop check, king b2, king d1, king d1, queen, and then rook h2, then just queen d4 check. I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting frustrated. I mean, this bit, had it been a dark squared bishop on the dark squared corner, I would be closer to understanding something. But right now, I can take on b3, then queen, then bishop c2 check. King b2, I give another check. King back. I need to... The thing is, I cannot really checkmate with a rook and a bishop. In order to checkmate, I need the king to join the party. To take some dark square escape routes. So I really feel like I need the king in order to give checkmate. But every time I try to make the king join, I end up, the guy queens with check and bad things happen. King, rook h3. I keep telling people that if you do not manage to solve it in 5 minutes, you really should move on to the next one. Then you just gotta accept that you didn't manage to solve it, and that by checking the solution, at least you learned something new. At least you found a gap in your patterns or what you were able to solve, and then by moving on and checking the solution, you are being the most efficient in tasking yourself and then learning something new. Because if you get stuck on the same puzzle for 20 minutes, then you're gonna learn so much more by doing 5 puzzles and managing all of them. Then you are going to basically ruining your spirits trying to solve the one puzzle you don't manage to solve. So I think I'm starting to think I should move on. But it's just annoying that I'm nowhere close to getting it. It's not like I'm not getting it, it's just I'm not even close. If I could just get him to move this pawn to b2, then I would checkmate him, no problem. I need him to get the pawns on the dark squares because my bishop is unable to cover the dark squares. So in order to give checkmate, I need the rook. I need the rook to get some help. Help covering the dark squares. I'm so silly. I'm so silly. Are you kidding? Okay, of course. I need to check king b2 and then rook h3. Of course. And then you go get a new queen. I take with the check, king back. Oh, are you kidding me? That was such an easy puzzle. Such an easy puzzle, and I think this is safe. King here, I think that's safe. And then rook f6 on the next move. Stalemate, stalemate, no stalemates. Now I feel kind of silly because that wasn't really difficult at all. And I had even talked myself through it. I was telling myself that I needed control over the dark squares, or at least nothing the queen to block. And it was right there, right in front of me for all of that time. Okay, another checkmate puzzle. It looks extremely straightforward. But I know from experience that things looking easy isn't necessarily easy. Okay, so queen e7. If he goes back, it's checkmate in 2 moves. If he goes up, it's checkmate in 1 move. Are you kidding me? Is it really that easy? Check, check, checkmate. Okay, I'll take it. At this point, I'll take any point I can, anything I can get. Okay. So I'm guessing the answer is king d5, but I have no idea why king e5 doesn't work. I'm guessing king f5 doesn't work because then king g2 and you queen the f pawn with a check. I'm guessing. So king d5. Ah, king e5. Maybe there's a check on the diagonal winning the queen. So maybe the idea is just that. Maybe the idea is just that the only way to make a draw is king d5. King d5, king g2, king e4, h4 takes. No, sorry. King d5, king g2, h4 takes, h5, move away, h6, f2, h7, f1. And f1 would be a check if I'm on f5. It would be a skewer if I'm on e5. And that means king d5 is the only safe square. And we both queen. And it's a draw. That's a nice one. 2 in a row. 2 in a row. But now there's more pieces on the board and it gets more tricky. Knight takes e6 is very, very tempting. It's so tempting. He cannot take back, then the queen enters. Maybe he can go knight d5. But what other tactic could there be in this position other than queen takes and bishop, knight takes e6? I don't know. I feel something is very wrong with the chat. Maybe I did something with the chat, but I've been double checking. I haven't seen any chat messages, but I've been checking whether that's my fault. But it feels like it's not my fault. Because any of the settings. Now I see chats. Now I see chats. Have I been missing out on you guys all this time? And all I could have said, I just needed to say something. I just needed to say something and I wouldn't have been missing out. Wow, the chat is going absolutely crazy. Yeah, no, I'm really, yeah, I'm starting to notice that you're not silent at all. We thought you were ignoring us, says you die. Wow. Well, I'm happy I now cleared this up. I was feeling pretty bad about nobody wanting to chat with me. I thought you were ignoring me. Well, this is a classic mix-up. I have no idea what happened. I did the normal pop out of the chat and I didn't get anything. We've had loads of bad suggestions, says Smebu. Missed a lot of chat. Yes, I did. A lot of wisdom I missed out on. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. Did you get any of the ones I missed? Because I had a tough time right now. I had the very toughest time. Some people had right answers. Oh, man. Yeah, because I've been pretty miserable. Sitting here alone in the dark. Struggling with these puzzles. I mean, at this point, I might be on the same rating I started at. But that's already not fantastic because I wanted to reach 3100. Easy peasy. Yeah, you noticed that one. Without your brilliance, I don't think I would have solved any, says Mulgary. We were all waiting on you to get it. The one with the rook and bishop. Yeah, I can imagine. That was poor. That was poor. You did better in the blitz on Saturday than the puzzles today, says Halvar. Yeah, I actually met Halvar this weekend. I was in this village basically outside of Bergen, and they had a chess tournament. Halvar actually finished second in his group, and I was there doing analysis and games and a simul, some blitz. Yeah, Jumpin' Jackson is saying knight takes e6, right? There's absolutely no chance I'm not doing knight takes e6. I'm just letting the time run down a little bit because I feel like that knight e6 looks so obvious. So that means probably it's a mistake. And for the life of me, I cannot see what's wrong. I mean, knight takes e6, probably he needs to go knight d5. But at that point, I even have knight c7. Even knight c7 would work. I don't think there's any chance I can get myself to do anything other than taking this one. Yeah, and now this looks tempting as well. I'm gonna do it. I am gonna do it. I'm tempted. I'm very much tempted. Yeah, I did it. Now I'm probably gonna take this one. Or am I gonna take this one? Ooh, both very tempting. This one seems to win a piece. Really? Okay. Yeah. No more right clicks. Yeah, no, I actually did that before. It was the second time I made that mistake. Oh man, you thought I was ignoring you. Now I feel bad. Well, on the other hand, I thought you were ignoring me, which made me feel bad. Okay, this rook looks to be in trouble. This rook looks to be in trouble. So if I can just give a check on the third rank, I will win the rook. Sounds straightforward enough. If I attack the bishop, then bishop e6 protects the rook. So maybe I'm gonna avoid that. rook a4, bishop e6, bishop e4, and then bishop g2 next. Looks tempting. But then he has rook h6, protecting this bishop. The duck is onto something. The duck is onto something. Bishop d1, king e3, bishop b3. And then you cannot exchange bishops because the rook falls here. So you have to go bishop b1. When I can go bishop e6, rook h6, rook takes b1, and then rook e1 check in the end. Okay, very good. I mean, I'm gonna reach 3,200 at this speed. A little bit help from my friends, and I'm gonna reach 3,200. Thank you to BJH for subscribing. I turned off the sound because I got a Facebook message, but I'll make sure to get that thunder sound. Well, you get the thunder sound, but I missed it. Okay, next one. Norwegian Pawn asks, is the Gnomes playing against Armenia tonight? No. No, we played against Armenia last Wednesday, and we lost. We're actually in trouble now. We might get relegated. Yeah, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Okay, so c7, rook takes d7, king c6. Screams out to be played. And then maybe rook d2, queen, check, move away, takes, take back. Then there's a bishop against two pawns. On the other hand, if I just go king e5, then I can go c7 next move. And that looks pretty good. That looks even better. Looks much better, actually. But then what is the difference between king e5 and king c5? King e5 is closer to the black pawns. So that kind of naturally drags me toward that move. King e5, maybe he can go rook b8. King e5, rook b8. And if then c7, he takes on b5 and takes on d7 and stops the pawn from queening. Probably with a winning pawn ending. So king c5, rook b8, c7, takes, pawn takes, king takes d7, king b6, threatens king b7, so he has to go king c8, then king c6, f3, b6, f2, b7, checkmate. Any objections? Any objections to my line? He's asking because the stream title is out of date. Man, I knew I forgot something. I got home from the airport And then, yeah, I was a bit stressed. Overruled, says Jepta. Overruled. I don't know. I don't see anybody objecting massively. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Okay, he didn't even play the most testing line. Okay, now I look silly. Now I look silly because the computer is doing this silly G4 move. But I'm gonna open the analysis one more time. No, I mean, you all heard me, right? No, I'm gonna do the analysis. Every time I actually manage to calculate something well, I'm pretty happy with myself. And then I want to kind of make sure everybody can see how amazing I did on this puzzle. King C5, the proper reply to this would have been Rook B8. That is kind of the whole point of the puzzle. And then C7, Rook takes, and now Pawn takes, King takes, and now King B6. All other moves lose, but this one wins, threatening King B7. So to stop that, Black goes King C8. But in doing so, he checkmates himself on C8. I'm pretty happy with that one. But now I'm very disappointed that was not the main line. Because this is kind of the entire point of the puzzle. Heiser asks, Hammer will be playing Civ 5? That's cool. Yeah. I'm gonna try and be a proper Twitch guy. Wow, nice, says Feynman. Jumpin' Jackson says, wow, so subtle. So that was the proper point of the tactics. And I'm pretty happy with it. I solved it accurately. Okay, next one. An entire queen down, and my rook is hanging. But I should have good chances of giving checkmate. So bishop g5, king takes, rook d3, king h2, and then maybe even rook h1. I'm not sure about that. Maybe bishop f4, king takes g1, rook g3 check, king h2, and then rook g8, rook g8, rook g8, king h3, bishop f1, king h4, bishop g3, king h5, bishop e2, king h6, and bishop f4 checkmate. I think I got it. Check, 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 check. It's looking good. Check, check, checkmate. 8 points. Weak point. Amer. Weak point. That's a good one. 8 points. I really like that. And the chat goes crazy. Crazy. Yeah, okay. New puzzle. I'm on a roll. I can make 3,100 definitely. Just gotta keep them coming. What is going on with this puzzle? White is a piece up. White is a piece up. What on earth is going on? Ah, so maybe the point is that... No. Maybe the white queen is in some trouble. But I don't ever see it getting trapped. Man, this is looking like one of those terrible puzzles. I'm just a piece up for no compensation. Bishop takes f2. Rook d8. Bishop takes c5. And if bishop takes f2, bishop takes back on f2. Then maybe just rook f1. Rook f1 because I have e7 for the queen. I don't really see it. I mean, if there's something here, I don't see it. I'm a piece up. It's difficult to take black's position very seriously. Yeah, I can't do it. Rook d8, I take on c5. No, I'm a piece up. Even here, I mean, he's threatening the rook, but even a move such as rook b1, I mean, there's absolutely no chance this queen is getting trapped. So why am I spending my valuable time looking at this? I don't get it. I don't get it. But rook f1 looks even better. Rook f1, rook d8, queen e7. I mean, there's absolutely no chance that queen is getting trapped. Any piece to any square. I don't see how I don't have 5 different winning moves here. Okay, so since I have 5 different winning moves, probably I need to find the most accurate one. And the most accurate one is actually rook takes f7. Rook takes f7, takes back, queen takes. No. Rook takes f7, rook takes f7, rook takes e6. Is really fancy. But it's very unnecessary. I mean, I'm winning this position so easily. But possibly rook takes f7 is the correct answer in the eyes of the computer. Rook takes f7, rook takes f7, rook takes e6. But then queen d8. What do I do on queen d8? Queen d8, I can go rook e7, queen takes d7, bishop takes f7. And then rook takes d7. I mean, it's so unnecessarily complicated. Rook f1 is easily winning. Rook takes f7, you might miscalculate. I would never recommend anybody to do this in a proper game. In a proper game, you should just You should just play the takes. Yeah, probably. I think it works. Okay, rook takes, and now this one. Okay. That puzzle is rated 3,200, and it's not because it's difficult. It's because it can be solved in many different ways. So it's not a good puzzle. Why doesn't black play rook takes d7? Says Romero Cesar. So if rook takes d7, then rook e8 is checkmate. So rook takes d7, then rook e8 is a double check from both the bishop and the rook, and there's no way to guard it. So it's checkmate on the next move. Beauty says report. Yes. Yes. Yes, I should report it, but I cannot find the. I can't see the thing how to report a bad puzzle. So we're gonna let it live, and we're gonna do the next one because I'm on a roll, and I think that's the third one in a row. So I'm doing better than the beginning. But now my queen is in some serious trouble. Wow, this queen in massive trouble. Black is just threatening bishop g7. So how many pieces am I up? I'm up a rook. I'm up a rook, but my queen is in dire straits. Big trouble for the queen. So it's kind of tempting to give back the queen. Something like bishop takes h7 followed by queen takes g8. But then the rest of my pieces are completely undeveloped. So there's a good chance I'm going to lose the game then. So I need to find some way of getting my queen out without losing too much material. So one of the things I'm considering is rook to e1. Because then if queen takes rook, bishop takes h7, at the very least I get my queen survives. Which at this point maybe could be considered a success. Other possible moves, maybe rook f1, bishop g7, rook f3, but then I don't see what to do on queen takes g2. Well, queen takes g2, then I can go rook f2. Try to do a perpetual on the queen. But maybe he can just go queen g5, rook f5, queen h6, which does seem to get away from the rook attacking. 8 in a row, says Anonymous. Okay, maybe I'm better than 3 in a row. But it's not gonna help out. Thank you to HMW Live for subscribing. No, for resubbing. That's the best subscriptions, because that means they have been around for a month and they are liking it. But I'm not liking White's position here. I don't see how to save the queen. Chess fan says, can you play rook takes f6 after queen h6? And that is the smartest thing anyone has said all day. That is the smartest thing anyone has said. Yes, I can do that, and I like it. That is a great idea. I'm going for it. And I'm blaming you if it goes wrong. Yes! Thank you, Chess Fan, for solving that puzzle. Very good. Very good. Okay, endgame puzzle. Less pieces to blunder. I like it. So a7 is the obvious first move, trying to get the new queen. a7, and then d7, and then knight f3 to be the blocking the diagonals. Probably correct. So a7, if rook a3, then d7. So a7, you need to go bishop g2, and then you go d7, and black has to go rook d3. Now the question is, I can go knight f3, but then rook takes f3 is check, and the rook can go back to d3, opening up the diagonal again. But if I go knight h3, then I can do king h4, knight f4, rook takes d7, knight takes g2, check. After which I get to promote my a pawn to a new queen. Okay, so that was, let's see, we have, that's 10 in a row actually. Wow, 10 in a row. 10 in a row. Romero Cesar, can you explain this previous one? I must admit, I already forgot what the previous one was. Yeah, the previous one, my queen had no escape. So I needed to find a way of escaping with the queen. So I needed to attack the black queen with my rook in order to lure the queen away from protecting the bishop on g7. And so the key move was queen to h6, rook takes f6. Yeah. One more win and you're probably there, says Thomas. Yes, but on the other hand, I was above 3100. One of the previous times I did tactics, I think I was at 3125, and then I just did really poorly toward the end of the session. So I gotta keep up this level for a prolonged period of time. I gotta make sure that toward the end I don't get too tired and start dropping points unnecessarily. There's checkmate looming on d8. Very tempting to go queen d2. Queen d2 threatens checkmate, threatens the rook. Queen d2, probably he will have to go queen b6. Queen b6, and then I can go queen f4. No. Queen. This feels like an easy puzzle. It feels like it's not that difficult. I need to be a bit careful about rook a1. Rook a1 check takes, and then there's some threats of checkmate. So if I go queen d2, queen b6, he's actually threatening checkmate. No, he's not, because I have knight a3. d5, d5. People are saying d5. I had not even considered that. Rook d5. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of goes against my plan of going something to d8 and checkmate. Yeah, I don't think I'm a fan. I don't think I'm a fan. Rook d5, then queen b6. It doesn't seem like it accomplishes much to me. I am 2 pieces down, so I should do something pretty quickly. I suppose I could go rook d8. Rook d8 and then queen d2. And then king c8, queen takes a5. But then I give away one of my main attacking pieces. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. There could be some checkmate with something takes the bishop on e6. But I'm not sure exactly how. Queen h5, says Mr. Adult. Queen h5, I like it. I love it. Queen h5 seems very good because it threatens rook takes e6, threatens queen takes c5. It seems very good to me. How does he even stop rook takes here? Queen h5. I like it. Very good move. I wish I had found it. I wish I had found it. Rook takes e6. Impossible to stop. You cannot take my queen because of checkmate. And then there's no way of stopping rook takes e6. Boom. Boom. Very nice. Very nice. HMW Live just has to go, but wanted to say hi. Well, hi, and thank you for the resub. Nice find, says Udai. Nice find. Yeah, I agree. I wish I had found it. Okay, next one. Possibility of checkmate, I would think. But how? G5 looks good. G5 looks very good. G5, G5. Anyone better? No. G5 is winning this race. G5 takes, I give check, I give check, I give checkmate. G5 takes on here. What if you take here? What if then I give check, 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 check. I win a rook. If he goes to d3, I go g6. He gives a check, I go in between. Maybe I don't even need to go. I'm just gonna do it. I'm on a roll. I was on a roll. Man. D5 is hanging. Are you kidding me? I didn't even see that the pawn on d5 was hanging. Rash decisions. Rash decisions. I didn't even see that this one was hanging. That's when you know you've tried to solve it too quickly. D5 was hanging. D5 was hanging. But that wasn't even the solution. Okay. I understand. I messed up. I'm gonna do the analysis. I want to find out why G5 was a mistake. G5 is winning. G5 is winning. Maybe not as efficiently as the suggested move, but G5 is winning. Takes. Now I gotta admit, my idea was to go here. And then here. And to be completely honest with you, I had not seen King G8. But it's winning in like 4 different ways, no? Check. Okay. So I would probably have done something like this. Okay, so apparently this is winning. But this, I don't think I would have played. I don't see myself playing queen takes g5, having already doubled up on the h5. But it's winning. It's winning. Yeah. I should have gotten it. If nothing else, then I should have seen that the pawn on d5 was hanging and then eliminated it, because it was wrong. I wasn't supposed to take that pawn. But okay, many knights and many queens and many. This looks like it's going to be a fork somehow. But keep in mind that if I win the queen for a rook, it's not good enough. 2 knights against a king is draw with best play. So I gotta make sure to win this queen without giving up my rook. And that's probably gonna be reasonably tricky. Presumably it's gonna be a bit of a challenge. It's very tempting to put the rook over on this side. Rook a1. And then just use the rook to attack like this. But probably not the right answer. Maybe I can go check, king d7, check, king d6, and then move the rook over. No, because then he has queen g7. How about knight b5? No. I thought this was going to be reasonably easy, but right now it's looking just as tricky as any other puzzle. Check on e4 has got to be right. And then king down. If I can get the knight to e5, that would be nice. So how do I check and get the knight to e5? Check, check. It's not gonna work. Check, check, check. No, it's not gonna work. Check, check, check. At that point, I'm covering so many things. At that point, I'm covering so many things. So then maybe I can put the rook on a8. Thank you to Spacebonner for subscribing. Okay, so I'm gonna go check, check, and then rook a1. And then I'm covering a lot of stuff. And I'm threatening checkmate. I had not seen that move. I had not seen that one. Okay. But it should be possible to solve. So check, queen in between. I give a check on e8, king d7, and then check on f6. Looks good. Forcing the king away from the queen, and then I can safely take it. Okay, we're back in business. 5 points. 5 points. And now maybe we can get a quick one on this one. How about taking that rook? Take rook, take back, rook takes f7, king back to g8, king back to g8, and now for the hammer blow, it's e6. I want to go e6, 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 and then some kind of song. Maybe. Yeah, but queen e8. How about e6 here? e6 in this position. e6. e6. That would be stunning. e6. e6 here. e6. Queen takes. Queen takes rook, then check, then this, then bishop d4. d4. Should that work? That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. C4? No. I really like this E6 move. E6 feels like the right amount of stunning. E6, queen takes back, rook into the attack, king G8. Rook F8, king H7. And then bishop D4 was my idea, but now I've realized that he can go rook G8, which is the only move. But it does seem like it's good enough. Queen B7 is good enough, says Dark-Sided. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, the position seems overwhelming for white, pretty much regardless of what you do. Even rook takes F7 should probably be quite a bit better for white. So I can agree that a move like Queen B7 could be enough. But then it's not really finishing in style, right? And it's so tempting to look for a stylish finish. Okay, how about taking the rook? Takes, check, king G8, E6. No, because now even queen takes E6 could be good enough because of this rook F8, bishop D4, rook G8 save. Queen B7, queen B7, then queen B7, then rook E8. Queen B7, rook E8. It's not easy to see a concrete follow-up. Then I have E6. No, because you still have queen takes. Queen B7, queen C4. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Queen C4 is interesting, threatening the rook. That's a perpetual, at the very least. At that point, you might actually want to make a draw with white. Takes back, check, king back. Queen B7 followed by E6. Yeah, but then still queen takes E6. Didn't really help out too much. It really felt like this was going to be an easy one, but now I have changed my mind. It's not easy at all. Maybe E8. E8 takes then queen B7. opens up the 7th rank. But then just king back to g8. Yeah, king back to g8, e6, queen takes. No easy way through. I mean, I could even take the pawn on a4. I mean, I have so many pieces, so many pawns for the exchange. Even taking on a4 is pretty good. But that kind of tells me that we're looking for something more of a knockout punch, right? Because the fact that we're already doing decently on material means that we have a lot of moves that are okay, but we're looking for something really, really good. And I can't see it. I can't see it. I don't see it. What happened? Are people asking? I don't know. Nothing happened over here. I'm just very quiet, trying to calculate. Capablancs is right, I think. Okay, let's check. What is Capablancs saying? Yeah, but Capablancs, I mean... Wow, Queen b5. John Linus, Queen b5. Queen b5, I like it. Queen b5. Queen b5. How does Queen b5 differ from Queen a5? You cover c4. Queen b5. Queen b5 going once. Queen b5 going twice. Queen b5. Queen e6. Rook f6. Queen b5 going 3 times. Sold! Sold, sold, sold. Queen b5. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, John Linus. It's sold. Okay, I mean, I don't know if I can stop on 95. I'm gonna try to make it to 3,000. I'm gonna stop if I miss one. But I gotta try to close with a 3,100. What would happen on queen takes b5? Queen takes b5, then we get the difference between taking the rook and going queen b5 is that with the queen b5, the rook is actually blocking the access to the e8 square. So here, if you take, then rook takes f7, king g8, and a new queen is checkmate. So queen b5 is just a diversion. And yeah, it really feels like something that should have been spotted. But I spent more than 10 minutes on it, and it wasn't even me that saw that move. So yeah, sometimes diversions can be really, really tricky. Really tricky. Okay, I'm gonna do a couple more. Queen e8. Very tempting to go queen a6. Very tempting to go queen a6. Very tempting to go rook takes b7. Very tempting to go rook takes b7. Rook takes b7. What is the problem? Rook takes back. Queen a6. I cannot see a problem with that line. Rook takes b7. Takes back. Queen a6. Queen a6. I don't see a problem. I don't see a problem. I'm gonna go for it. Queen a6. Now I guess queen takes b7 is good. Queen a8 is probably even better. Probably even better. And 3 points. 3 points for that one. And just one puzzle away from 3100. One puzzle away. I'm guessing I'm trying to make a draw. That's just a wild guess from me. I guess I'm trying to make a draw because I'm somewhat down on material. So in order to make a draw, I should probably do a check and have the rook on h7 and then do the checks with the knight. But I'm assuming there's a problem. I'm assuming there's a problem. I kind of want to start with rook takes h7, keeping the threat of knight f6 in my back pocket. Yeah, I think I want to do rook takes h7. And then if knight e5, which is pretty much the only way to stop knight f6, knight d7. Then I have the extra option of going knight g7. Knight g7. But maybe that's not very effective. Oh no, of course, I don't need d7 for the knight. I can just put my rook there. Yes, and then it doesn't matter that the black knight goes back into defense because I'm doing something else. Yes, I like it. Rook d7. And then we try to step away from the checks. And black does something, but it doesn't really help because he gets stuck in this perpetual and it's a draw. And if he were to go to g in the corner, it would be checkmate. And what a perfect way to end the stream. 2 more points. It's 3,100. And that's going to be it from me for today. I got to get some dinner. Thank you everyone for watching. I do apologize that I didn't see all your chat messages for the first. I don't know how long I waited until kind of mentioning that there was no chat. But I was wrong, of course. There was chat, and there were quite a lot of you. I just somehow didn't get you on my screen. Yeah, I'm gonna be back with more tactics tomorrow at 5 p.m. But that's gonna be in Norwegian. My next English language stream is gonna be actually next Monday, and it's gonna be a special one. It's gonna be Civilization 5. Hammer doing something other than chess. Apparently, and I have been told by my very loyal viewers that while people playing games they know is fun, it's also fun to watch people do something they don't really know that well. So I have set the entire day for on Monday. Next Monday, I have the entire day set for Civilization 5. I'm gonna play through, and Civ is kind of a slow game, so I set at least 8 hours to do it. My next English language chess stream is gonna be actually February 28th, and that's gonna be one of the Pro Chess League matches with the Norway Gnomes. So one of the main reasons it's so in such a long time is that I'm going to a tournament on Wednesday. I'm playing a tournament Wednesday in Kragerø. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to try to win that one with my special new tactic skills. I really needed the warm-up, clearly, because in the beginning I was struggling. But now I'm solving so many. You can see the stats here, just one missed in the last, I don't know how many, 14? So I'm getting better. I'm gonna do more tactics tomorrow to prepare for the tournament, but as I said, in Norwegian. In Norwegian. Okay. Thank you to Subham for cheering. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's gonna be it. I'll see you all tomorrow, and yeah, more tactics. I'm gonna go for 3150 tomorrow. But until then, goodbye.